Okay, another action-packed edition of Sports Tonight has just kicked off from Channels Television Sports Center in Lagos, Nigeria. My name is Austin Okonakpan. Welcome on board. On the show today, we'll talk about grassroots sports development and how to identify talents, not just identify and then watch them become future champions. We'll also take a look at the ongoing AfroBasket's Women's Basketball Championship that's taking place in Maputo. Yes, the Tigers are not so good performance from them, but then there's hope tonight as they take on Cape Verde. Week also talk about match day 34 or match day 33 of the Nigeria Professional Football League and take a look at some of the results from the games that are being played in the English Capital One Cup. Action-packed world of sports. It's just so much to talk about. But quickly, let's talk about the Airtel Rising Stars Football Initiative. This is a program that is organized by Airtel Africa to identify, develop and then nurture upcoming football talents. Earlier on, my colleague Cecilia Omorigbe spoke to some representatives from Airtel, not just Airtel. A former Arsenal player was also in the studio. We'll take a listen to what they said and then we'll come back. We'll talk. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Special segment on Channel Sport Tonight. I am Cecilia Omorigbe, and of course on this segment we will be talking about Airtel Rising Star, and of course the star that was among those stars that came during the grand finale that happened just last weekend. And of course here in the studio I have Luke Wilson with me. He is here on the show. He is the Partner Services Executive at Arsenal Football Club. Luke, welcome.
Thank you. Cheers for having us.
And of course Obina Aniche, General Manager, Brand Asset, Airtel Networks Limited.
Thank you so much.
I got that right.
Yeah.
And the legend himself, he is still one of the invisibles. When I use the word still, simply because Arsenal went unbeaten 49 times for a long time. That was in 2004. But still today, Arsenal have not been able to replicate that. I have Robert Perez live in the studio. Robert, you're welcome.
Hello, thank you.
Okay, now I will definitely start with you. You are a legend, of course. It is your first visit to Nigeria. What do you know about Nigeria before your first visit?
Yes, of course, it's my first visit in Nigeria. Not too much, but I know Nigeria is a great country with a great player. I know your national team.
Okay,
you won 3 times the African Nations Cup. So you have always a great player.
Okay, now you talked about great players. What are your observations since you arrived in Nigeria?
Nigeria is a huge country.
Very huge.
Yes, very huge. And I'm surprised the fans at Lagos.
Okay.
So yeah, it's very a great surprise, and the people are very warm and friendly, and yeah, I feel very much to at home with you here.
Okay, now let's go to Airtel. You know the reason why you are in Nigeria now. Airtel involvement in grassroots soccer. What do you think about this?
You know, the Airtel Rising Stars is, I think, is a very good tournament. It's a very good opportunity for the young player, for the ladies or for the boys. I don't know. Maybe we can see to the Nigerian player at Arsenal. So that's important for the players, because I repeat, but I think it's very good opportunity. Last day and Sunday we saw
the grand final, exactly.
two great finals. So yeah, the future is I think
is bright in Africa.
Very good.
Okay, Obina, let me come to you here. You know, talking about Airtel, you are the brand manager, and of course, you know everything about Airtel. Now, Airtel involvement in grassroots football, especially the sponsorship. You know, it's not really easy for you to get corporate bodies sponsoring a grassroots football. You know, under 17, under 15. Tell us more about this, especially the Airtel Rising Star.
Thank you. Let me go back to what we stand for at Airtel. Our vision actually is to be the most loved brand in the daily lives of Nigerians. And actually, this is the vision we share across Africa. So for us, it's a very simple decision. If we want to be the most loved brand, what it means is that you have to identify with the passion points of the people.
Okay.
And football, like you know, is one passion that unites everybody together. It doesn't matter whether you're a Ghanaian or you're Nigerian, or whether you're old or young. So for us, it's a very deliberate decision. And the Airtel Rising Stars program actually started in 2011. And we started off with about 11,000 teams.
Okay.
Today it's grown by 64% to
That's
18,000 teams, making this the biggest grassroots football program in Africa. You know, and the other unique thing also about this is one tournament that is open to both boys and girls. And in delivering this project, what we simply did was to look around and say, okay, how can we do this? We're a telephone company. And the choice of having Arsenal is a very easy one. You know, Arsenal is one of the biggest
Fan base.
and the fan base in Nigeria, like you know, is actually outside of UK. Nigeria is the biggest Arsenal fan base. You know, so that actually tells you a lot. So I mean, with Luke coming all the way from UK and having our good friend here, Robert, you know, is an indication of how serious this is. And we actually have seen a lot of success stories out of this tournament. Last year we have about 3 kids from Nigeria who actually, you know, underwent trial in the under-17 national team. Yeah, so those are indications that actually...
Okay, the indication we can see, is there, when are we going to see some of these players at the national team? Like you talked about the 3 on the 17 level. Are we going to see any of them very soon? They went on trials, but they were not picked, right?
Well, okay. the reality, like, you know, you find out that we're giving them a platform.
Okay, platform.
You know, so there's a whole lot that has gone into this. And when you have a serious club like Arsenal being part of this, part of the thing also we got from Arsenal is that, you know, we have got access to some of the coaches, UEFA coaches who actually take these kids through soccer clinic.
Okay.
And
I think, let me cut straight there. Let me go straight to Luke, because Luke, you know, partner services executive, Arsenal Football Club with Airtel. Now, looking at this brand, you can shed more light on Arsenal partnership with Airtel, especially on the Rising Star. You can shed more light on it. Let's get to understand this partnership.
Yeah, sure. So it's a 3-year partnership, which we signed in June, July last year. And since then, I think we've really started to work with Airtel in a number of different ways. So some of the kind of things that we're doing, or we're bringing, as Abin has already said, we're bringing coaches out. So we did that for the first time in Ghana, which was last year. We ran a 7-day coaching clinic for the winners from the Arsenal countries to come to be trained, and they learn how to play the Arsenal way. So we bring UEFA trained coaches out for that. So I mean, that's a great benefit for the kids that have come through Rising Stars. So
how do you intend to groom these kids through this particular program? How do you intend to do this?
So, well, I mean, I think, as we said before, you know, part of the partnership is about training them and the kind of helping them, first of all, have this platform where they can display their skills, and they can kind of learn from playing against other nations. One of the great things that Airtel do is obviously bringing the children in from different countries into Nigeria, and they assist them with the flights, with their passports, and that's great for the general education of the children, not just their football ability, but also for kind of broadening their horizons. And so the other side of things is we then support that by doing visits like we've done for here to the African Championships. So we come out, we like to kind of reward the fans and come and interact with the fans here. So it's great for us as a club to meet our huge fan base in Nigeria, and then we support those kids by coaching them.
Okay, now how has Arsenal benefited from the partnership with Airtel? And do we have any plans whereby some of these young talent can, come into Arsenal's feeders team?
Well, hopefully in the future, yeah. I mean, I think we're at the start of a long process, and I think the most important thing is as we've said, it's to give those players that platform to show their desire to play, they're willing to win, and the skills they've got, and then hopefully one day, dependent on the skills of those players and their mindset, hopefully they will kind of progress and play in Europe and play wherever. But for us, what else we're getting from the partnership is it gives us a chance to come out here and connect with our fan base. As Abin has said, we've got millions of fans throughout Africa, but particularly in Nigeria. We've got a really strong Arsenal following, and as we've been driving around today, we've seen shirts everywhere. So it's great for us to come out and connect with the fans in that way.
Okay, talking about fans, of course, Arsenal players. Now, Robert, you played alongside Kanu Uncle. What can you remember in your days while you were playing with him, your relationship with him? What was it like?
Yeah, maybe I'm a legend, but Nyanko Kanu is a big legend for Arsenal. Sincerely, it was an honor. It was a privilege to play with Kanu, because he's a great guy. He have a great quality, a great ability with the ball, and I think Kanu